Hey dudes, what's up? Saucerx here, and the day before was a very special day because it was a leap day, and leap day is part of leap year. And leap year is special on its own because it's supposed to happen every 4 years, and all it makes an extra day in the month, resulting in February 29th to even exist in the first place. But what makes that day even more special would be the lesser known fact that February 29th is the very day that my wonderful channel Saucerx was born. That's right dudes, I created my channel exactly 4 years ago, but because I made it on a leap day, that technically means that my channel should be 2 years old. Weird, isn't it? I think that on its own will be good for a little story, so let's begin! 4 years ago, on February 29th, 2012, I was a senior in high school and I was in my math class going over fractions and algebra-based assignments on the board. Since most of the class was asleep because of my teacher's excessive rambling about assignments she literally didn't understand herself and needed other teachers' help to comprehend in the middle of the class every few minutes, she decided to make a deal with the class since she felt embarrassed that most of the class wouldn't respect her from her frequent mistakes. The deal was that if we could all stay awake for 40 minutes straight and if 70% of the class passed a quiz on mixed fractions and level 4 algebra, then she would take us to the computer lab every day for the whole month of March with no homework. Sure enough, everyone hopped the fuck up and got the quiz done in less than 20 minutes for the first half and listened to music and conversate with each other for the second half. The teacher was very impressed and very surprised since she didn't expect any of us to finish that fast, even though the test was semi-mildly easy, since it was pretty much the same stuff we already went over for like 2 straight weeks. But as she said, a deal is a deal, so she took us to the computer lab for the rest of the day. Even though I was happy about going to the computer lab and not having to worry about homework for the rest of the month, there were some notable things good and bad about the computer lab. Now the computer lab was a good place to chill because it was one of the few places where we as students could relax a little bit without threat of packets, security cameras monitoring us, as well as audio recordings from the teachers to go and use against us later on down the line whenever they get pissed off at us or some shit. As well as also talk to the other students from the previous classes and get a little help and heads up on what's coming our way from already completed assignments that they've already done throughout the week. But since my class is the newer class and not one of the older ones, anything that the people inside of the computer lab that came before us were already doing at that specific time, we will be getting the same thing later throughout that same week. So we would go and get the answers from those dudes. As well as also not having the threat of nosy ass teachers butting into our personal business and conversations just to go and get us in trouble with our parents and such. Instead of just hovering over us 90% of the time, most of the teachers would just go on break and go to the teacher's lounge or go and just stand outside of the computer lab complaining about the students and teachers that they didn't like. What was bad about the computer lab was the fact that it was boring as fuck. It was so boring that I would often find myself passing the fuck out on the computer while dreaming about me thinking about ways to have fun and completely not aware that I'm even sleeping until the loud ass bell rings to go to the next class. I shit you not. That and most of the other websites and games were blocked off of the school's server, so YouTube, Google, Newgrounds, and MySpace and other gaming and social media related sites were completely out. And Twitter and Facebook wasn't really as popular or well known yet as it is now, so they were definitely out. That is, until I figured out the password for the admin controls after being super bored for a while and decided to go and start messing around. All I really just typed out was my principal's name backwards, because he was the most powerful person in the entire school, and the year that he graduated, since it was one of the biggest trophies in the entire school that was visible on the award shelf, and one of the first things that anyone would see every day coming into the fucking school. And since, you know, I didn't have anything else better to do or anyone else to go and talk to, being the fucking scary loner guy that I was at that time. Like seriously, like, dudes, I always wore a fucking hood around that time. I didn't like have gloves, vests, and fucking hat around that time. I had fucking hoods and fleeces and shit. Always looking scary, even though I really wasn't trying to. Even just saying fucking hi to somebody was a fucking problem most of the goddamn time. Also, I really didn't want to go and start doing the fucking cognitive learning stuff for an hour, because that is a big waste of fucking life. Oh my god. Anyway, after I reset the password on the computer and was able to go onto any site that I wanted, I helped out a couple other dudes by unlocking their computers around the lab as well, since for one, they wouldn't stop fucking asking me, and two, if I didn't help them out, then they were going to go and snitch on me to the teacher. The teacher's going to go and bitch to the principal's going to go and change the password, then bitch to my mom and the rest of my family, and then my mom and the rest of my family are going to go and beat the fuck out of me. And I really did not want to go and fuck up my homework-free fucking month, so I decided just to go and comply with the bullshit and just help them out for the most so they can go and get the fuck out of my face and shut the hell up. Anyway, I went on YouTube and watched videos from iJustine, Angry Joe, and the Black Hokage and learned a little bit more about YouTube. And from there, I thought it was time that I finally created my own channel to upload creatively frequent videos to. I had everything basic together to create a unique and active channel, except for one very important thing. I couldn't figure out a good name for my channel, dudes. Figuring out a name was a challenge because it had to be a good, yet unusual, yet memorable, yet small, and a non-personal name that no one else will come close to even having for a very long time on YouTube. I even looked up some videos about good and bad YouTube names to help, but I was still stumped. And eventually, the computer lab boredom kicked in again and I was out cold for a while with the keyboard as my pillow. When I woke up, my math class left and my science class walked in the room and I was confused as hell with slobber coming off my face from the keyboard, because I thought I was going to be in some deep trouble. But it turned out that my science teacher had a trip to go on, so my science class had a substitute teacher, whose orders were to let the class in computer lab for one free day, but to expect the big ass fucking test the very next day. So I had another hour and a half being on the computer, which was really fucking awesome. After I wiped my face and cleaned the keyboard, I noticed a bunch of numbers and very few letters where my name was supposed to be in the name sign-up bar for YouTube. So I deleted all the numbers from the name box and kept all the letters, which spelled out Sazaru. S-A-Z-A-R-U. I kinda liked the spelling of it, to be honest, because it was very unusual, but I didn't like the sound of the name in general. So I tried again with every letter in the alphabet that places the last letter in the name before I got the X. And with X, I got Suzerax as my final choice of a channel name. And from there, I began uploading videos to it about a month later after creating the name and onwards, which brings us 4 years later to today. So let's just go and put things into perspective here for a sec. If I never became insanely bored within the computer lab for a while, then I would have never taken the time to figure out the school's admin password to the internet, which will ultimately result in me falling asleep on the keyboard trying to figure out a good YouTube name to go and create for my channel. If these three elements never happened in the order that they did, then I would have more than likely never even gotten around to creating my channel name as Suzerax, and I would have most likely given up easily with some other lame name and settled for a boring and submissive life, because there wouldn't be a unique and memorable struggle for coming up with the name. And even though that small moment of indecisiveness was a challenge and pretty funny in within itself, remembering the event over the years has helped motivate me to continue learning new things with an open mind, as well as taking the time to learn new and more creative ways of uploading videos for all of you guys so soon and for years to come. The moral of this story would be that sometimes being bored long enough can help innovate new ideas that can change your life as well as the world in some way or form. In my case, being bored shitless actually helped me out a lot to go and create my name faster as well as new ideas, so I could go and begin my life helping people from around the world with my words, or by making them laugh with the videos that I create, or both. And I hope I can keep doing this for more years to come. Anyway, that's the end of the story of how I got my channel name, dudes. Let me know what you guys think inside the comment section below, and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Anyway though, I will see you guys later. Bye!
Like, the more that you go and become famous, the more fragile that you go and become. You still got a name for yourself, but the littlest things will literally break you overnight if you're not careful.